And Isaiah, there's a verse in Isaiah that says, where every house will be boarded up, no one will occupy them. And it's coming to a place now where you're going to just see the foreclosures grow and grow and grow, to where you're going to see tent cities all through the Blue Ridge Mountains, Georgia all the way to Maine, war, judgment, and people are not going to be able to work. They're just not going to be able to. There's not going to be anything to do.
Well, I know that this morning I received an article just now out of Russia, and it was an article that was talking about the impeachment of Obama. They want to take him out because the whole economy is falling, and they've been just propping it up and hiding it since October, propping it up day by day by taking out loans for 7 days or 14 days. But the problem is that all these loans are going to come due now on the 1st.
Yeah.
And we can't pay these loans. We can't do anything. So there is going to be havoc by the time that all of this news gets out to the public. And we can only pray that we don't start up right away with our violence, because I really don't think that's the answer. I think there are some other answers. So that fits right in there, Jack, with exactly what I received this morning.
I'm going to step in here and add to this number 5 thing and the housing situation thing. I've covered this a couple of times, and Jack, you'd probably corroborate this, and Kathy. Banks have no money. The banks know it. And it's amazing when people go and secure themselves a mortgage, so they think they do. The banks have no money to lend. That banks take that promissory note, the promise to pay for 30 years, and the banks turn around and sell it. And the banks sell it again and again and again and again and again and again. And so the mortgage amount may be, let's say it's for $200,000, and the buyer of the house, they think they're getting a loan. The banks have no money to give. The buyer promises to pay for 30 years, and so they'll end up paying, say, $600,000, right, give or take. And so that bank will sell that promissory note for $400,000 again and again and again and again. And from those proceeds, somehow that banking institution will turn around and pay off that loan. They'll pay off that note. And borrowers don't know that, right? The home buyers don't know, in fact, that loan is paid off sometimes on that first day, always within 3 days. And so mortgages all across this country have been paid for. And so an act of foreclosure is therefore an act of theft. And so the banks really want to remove people from homes so that they can turn around and sell it again and try to create another promissory note that they can sell again and again. And so even a foreclosure is an act of theft by these greedy banks, Jack.
I'm listening.
It's just interesting how these banking institutions, in fact, just within the last couple of days, 55 counts have been charged by an attorney general from Florida against these banks for their fraud and theft. Fraud and theft in these foreclosures. Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, Citigroup, and all of these other banks. And I'll have that posted at morningliberty.com later today and tomorrow. I'll have that information up there. Go ahead, Kathy.
You know, not only do they not have the money to back these loans, they don't have the gold to back anything either. Everything has been taken out of the United States. It's gone. We have nothing. And so they've been propping up day to day by borrowing this money, and now we have to pay all this money back, and we can't. I think that's why Obama's on an extended vacation.
Another piece of this is that people, because of the birth certificate, are now the collateral. We are inventory in this country.
Absolutely.
People are the collateral for this national debt.
Yeah.
And many Americans have no idea. And there are people who've seen dreams of the foreclosure, the collection of people as the collateral for this debt. It may get pretty nasty. We'll be right back. This is the Morning Liberty program at RBN. Jack, hang on.
Hey, honey, I'm home. I grabbed a newspaper on the way home. Look at all the news today.
Don't you know that all you're going to get in the newspaper is propaganda, twisted news, and false information?
Honey, this is a national newspaper. It has to be true.
Ha! For some reason, the majority of the population believe anything the mainstream media tells them. The newspaper doesn't give out the important attention of what's happening to this country and news that affects our daily lives. Say, does that newspaper mention anything about the North American Union?
No, not that I can see.
I didn't think so. You need to go to www.newswithviews.com, where truth is more important than political correctness. That's www.newswithviews.com. Hey, don't throw that away. We can use that in the birdcage.
Okay, move over. Let me start reading newswithviews.com.
The truth? Read all about it at newswithviews.com. Newswithviews.com, where reality shatters illusion.
Introducing IXL Anti-Friction Metal Conditioner. IXL works at the molecular level to reduce friction by penetrating into and bonding onto the microscopic openings of the walls of ferrous base metals. The surfaces become smoother and denser, and this reduces the heat, friction, metal expansion, and wear caused by moving metal surfaces. The benefits are reduced maintenance activities and cost, increased fuel efficiency, and prolonged equipment life. It will not clog filters, pipes, injectors, or supply lines, does not build up or accumulate upon itself as do many other additives. IXL does not contain moly, PTFE, or graphites. Also offers the tremendous benefits of being non-toxic. It's used for a friction reducer and performance enhancer in gas or diesel engines, transmissions, automatic or standard gearboxes, turbos, electric motors, outdrives, lathe, and cutting applications. Go to republicbroadcasting.org, then to our online store, or call us at 800-724-2719. That's 800-724-2719.
Warning for all Gulf Coast disaster survivors. Be aware that dangerous gases are in the air you breathe. Benzene, hydrogen sulfide, methylene chloride, and Corexit 9500. Keep your body clean with microplant powder. For all Gulf Coast residents and all who want to be healthy, hempusa.org brings you a new formulation of microplant powder with lactobacillus acidophilus, rebuilding your immune system while detoxing the rest of your body, pulling out positive toxins, heavy metals, viruses, fungus, bacteria, and parasites. Cleans and purifies the blood, lungs, stomach, and colon. Microplant powder will help eliminate these dangerous chemicals from the body used in the Gulf cleanup. At hempusa.org, we want you to try our #1 selling detox product, Microplant powder. Call and order at 1-908-691-2608, 1-908-691-2608, or visit us at hempusa.org today.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's light?
I have the article in front of me, and I'm not going to read the whole article, but I'll read parts of the article here about banks being caught for theft and fraud. It says, as a result of the recent investigation launched by the Florida Attorney General's Office, Bank of America, GMAC Bank, JP Morgan Chase, and other banks have been found guilty of foreclosure fraud. Depositions by the bank employees reveal that banks have been forging, falsifying, and fabricating documents in order to foreclose on millions of homes owned by unsuspecting Americans. Later on in the article, it says here, until such a time as the Department of Justice, the SEC, and the Attorney Generals of each state decide to take action against these criminal banks, homeowners have no choice but to implement their own available legal strategies to fight to save their homes. Because most of these foreclosures involve banks, their inability to produce the original promissory note in order to prove that they have any legal right in this foreclosure. So recently in Arizona and Nevada and other states, attorneys general are filing lawsuits of their own. The point is, banks have no money to give. They have no money to loan, so they will take our promissory note and sell it. And Bob Chapman, I have asked him about this, as he'll be joining me next week on Thursday. And he'll tell you, according to current banking policies, the original bank can sell that promissory note 45 times or even 70 times. And they'll use it as an asset and sell it, and then they will, from those proceeds, there's a pool of proceeds that they take, they pay off the original loan. So foreclosure is theft. The best thing somebody can do when a foreclosure is taking place, to stay in their house, to stay in the house. But people don't know that. Kathy, I think we should move on to 6. I know we have a lot of ground to cover, Jack. Go ahead, Kathy.
Okay, number 6. There will be very violent supercells coming across the USA. There's going to be great calamity across the land coming. So, Jack, you want to explain that a little bit?
The supercells is as this Earth starts to change in its orbit. At first, I thought it was the moon starting to swing into the Earth when people started calling me up and saying, look at the moon, it's not setting right, it's not rising right, it's acting weird. Well, I thought the moon was doing something. Well, it's not. NASA said that the Earth is changing its axis and it's moving. This could go into, I'm not into the Mayan calendar. I do not believe it's going to end 2012. I do believe time could stop. But I believe the planets now are going to start to make an alignment. If this happens,
I think that event that was in the Mayan calendar, I think it occurred last week on the 21st of December. I think we have now crossed that threshold. Jack, what do you think?
Well, I don't know yet. They say it's 2 years off. The calendar, that calendar is 2 years difference between ours and theirs.
Yeah, that total lunar eclipse, I think, was the day that even the Mayan calendar mentioned. I think we have now gone through that event. Go ahead.
Well, I don't doubt we haven't gone through something. But what I think is as these planets start to come into alignment, it's going to start to rip the Earth to pieces. And this would explain the tidal waves and Isaiah saying he'll disperse the inhabitants of the earth. All of those living on the coast will have to flee the coast, one because of the natural disasters, one because of war. The earth is going to become filled with violence, and these supercells, you've upset the balance of nature. And Isaiah says the earth teeters and totters like a drunkard, for the iniquities of mankind weigh heavy upon the earth, and all who are in it are found guilty. The earth's teetering and it's tottering. It's out of balance. And this is why you're seeing such violent weather patterns and earthquakes, tremors, and volcanoes, and it's going to increasingly get worse. Because of the gross sin, the wickedness, and the rejection of God is what's bringing this about.
Okay. This also kind of reminded me, Jack, of what's going on spiritually speaking in the United States for over these last years with the churches. And because the judgment always begins in the house of God first,
right.
I think that's why it reminded me of this, because they have caused spiritual death across the land in all of the people that they've lied to and mistaught.
Oh,
and
yeah.
now that spiritual death is going to become a physical death.
Oh, yeah.
And that takes us to the number 7, I guess. Number 7. Because the whole states are going to come under God's judgment. There will be a lot of death and carnage will be coming to the USA. That spiritual death is what carried through and is bringing in the physical death. Is that right?
Well, yeah, whatever's going on in the spirit realm is going to manifest itself in the physical. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, and number 8, I warned many years ago that God was going to stir or strike America down with a famine that would be so great that women who have had abortions in the USA will long to have their children for food. This is already happening in third world countries such as Africa. This is God's judgment, for famine coming to America is going to be very, very great. It'll be famine for the word and food.
Oh, yeah.
It's 29 minutes after. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Because you can handle the truth.